Hello! Say hi, everybody. We're here. We made it. Nikki's gonna be late. Apparently. I don't know. Whatever.
No worries.
We miss her, but we're starting. So, welcome, everybody. Yeah, in the arms of the angels, rip to an old friend. I loved that Letty made a video of in time. Yes, they did a video called "The Ethics of Trolling." And so it was that, and then a screenshot of when the hearing was taking place over on one of the trolls' channel, and it's just like all trolls and Nick in the middle. And he's just like fading it in and out to Nick and then to all of the trolls, and then the ethics of trolling, and it's just in the arms of the angels.
Very clever.
Oh, it's pretty funny. Oh god.
Gotta laugh. You gotta laugh.
We hit the point where something jumps the shark so much that you just have to laugh at it. It's like, look at it go! Alright, so
wow.
Today we're going to be talking about relationships and relationships. I have a ton ready. No more. We're never gonna get through all of it. I have enough content for like
Lifetime.
a year.
A year. Okay.
So that's what we got going on. That's what we're gonna deal with. Are you guys ready to dive into this?
Yeah. Let's
So
go.
ready.
All right.
Bring on the pain.
Oh, I hope
Wait,
you're
that's
ready.
Nikki's line.
Oh. Oh.
Are you ready?
Let me make sure that's visible. All right. All good. Okay. Yeah, it is pretty good. I'm just gonna. Oh nope. Come on. Give me this. Thanks. Cool. There we go. All right. So this is what we got. My sister and brother-in-law won't let me kiss my boyfriend.
What?
Yeah, it's a good start, right?
Bec-
Okay.
I, 30-year-old female,
What? Okay.
agreed to
Is this a
carry...
COVID thing?
Jesus.
Because that's understandable. Okay, come on.
Yeah, that's the
I,
only
30-year-old
physical
female,
way.
have agreed to carry my sister's 42-year-old female baby for her, as she is unable herself and lacks the financial resources to pay for a surrogate. I am happy to do this, or at least I was. I am 6 months along at the moment, and I met a lovely man recently, and we are in the early stages of a relationship. He knows about my situation and is very accepting and considerate. Before agreeing to carry their baby, we had some firm rules placed. They asked me to stay away from any sexual contact with men. I agreed, and I didn't really mind, nor do I mind that right now. The agreement was no sex of any kind. Weird, but okay, whatever. A few days ago, I introduced my boyfriend to my sister and brother-in-law, and at first everything was great. They invited us for dinner last Saturday. We had a great meal and a great time together. They all seemed to get along, and that is until... Oh, sorry, we all seemed to get along until, that is, he had to leave. When my boyfriend had said his goodbyes to my sister and brother-in-law, he then came over to me and hugged and kissed me quite passionately, but not in any vulgar way, nor was it for a long period, literally seconds. As soon as he left, my sister and brother-in-law jumped down my throat, talking about how I broke the rules, how disgusting and wicked I am. I genuinely was shocked. I had not expressed such a blow. Oh, I had not expected such a blow out of their irrational behavior / feelings towards me, literally just getting a kiss. I decided not to argue or even go in conversation with them and just walked home. I live about 30 minutes walk away, and by the time I got back home, I had an email waiting for me. The email contained our original agreement, but now it included a section with no kissing of any kind, and they want me to sign the new agreement. I don't want to, as I have been more than accommodating and considerate of all their original requests. I feel like they are now crossing boundaries and acting as if I am some kind of farm animal they own and control. I don't want to create further animosity between us. They have been calling and texting me since then, and I have yet to answer. I would like to reply back via email so that there can be no confusion and to create some separation. Any advice on what to write would be great. So now I reply back to their email. So how do I reply back to their email without being rude, and how do I deal with them in general?
Girl,
there are some edits.
I know.
So what do you guys think?
Guys, we have heard this a lot. Girl, get a lawyer. Get a lawyer.
Ooh.
Well,
Get a
yeah, because
lawyer.
like any other contract, it would be the same thing. You can't
Yep.
just arbitrarily add to the contract
Yep.
to make demands like that.
Yep.
That should have been something discussed before. It sounds like it's fairly important to the parents, so that should have been something that was brought up before.
And
And
I'm just thinking, when the first agreement was signed, was there any legal advice given to the surrogate at that time or not?
Oh, like did she have a lawyer when she
Yeah.
first decided to sign the
Uh-huh.
contract?
Good question.
Is it a notarized agreement or is it just a bullshit like paper?
It's like on construction paper.
Yeah.
It's,
Or the
it's
one
like,
that Onision
it's like
made
you
his,
signed.
the NDAs that Onision made his like expense.
Yeah, you signed
sign.
you signed this card, like this gift card, and now I've taken some glue and stuck this piece of paper into the card that is an agreement that now you signed it. Let's see the edits.
Oh, this way.
Yeah, there's a couple more. We actually get to see the email that she wrote.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah. Edit. They did offer to drive me home, but I declined as I enjoy walking, and at the time it was my only way to comfortably exercise. The baby is biologically my sister's and brother-in-law's. This child is made from her last and only viable egg. They had tried many times before, but they all failed. So I understood their anxiety and worry when we originally made the first agreement, and I viewed it and still view their initial request as acceptable. I wasn't in a relationship at the beginning of all of this, and they were worried about a potential STI, and I understood and was already taking a break from sex and men at the time. I am doing this completely of free and without any reward other than helping my sister have her first and only biological child. That's dangerous, because having a baby can very much mess you
And
up.
Yep. It's
so
not.
I don't know if I would be willing to do this free of charge.
And I'm even.
Yeah.
Yeah, she needs to be paid. Number one, she needs to be paid for this. Number two, girl, get a lawyer and don't talk to them without your lawyer about this thing ever again. I would say that.
I think it would be a good idea, even if it's not getting paid a lot, but like something. Like make sure your medical stuff is paid for.
I would
Exactly.
at least. Yeah, I would at least want it in writing that all of my medical's paid for, no matter what happens with the pregnancy, and also aftercare, because a lot of things can go wrong postpartum. There's a ton. Speaking from experience, there's a ton that can go wrong or sideways. Thankfully, it wasn't so bad for me, but being made aware at the time, it was so much more than I had thought before getting into it. And I think that maybe did she say if she's ever been pregnant before on her own?
Yeah, she hasn't said.
Okay, I'm just curious, because if she hadn't been before, she may not have really known what she was getting herself into.
Yeah, it doesn't say.
Well.
It doesn't say, and
There's
it
a lot
kind of
of
makes me
women
think no, that she hasn't been, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. But I mean, protecting yourself ahead of time for something that could potentially kill you or completely change your life forever. Yep. It just sounds like this whole thing wasn't thought through enough by everybody for what they were expecting. Not quite enough education. But at the same time, I can see you not getting paid for it. Like I can see hearing about somebody so much that you want to do it out of charity. Yeah. Just protect yourself.
Yeah, I agree. Like I understand it. I just don't entirely agree with it because I think medical and such should be covered after the fact. So which I could view as compensation, depending on you know what I mean. Okay.
Yeah, true.
I've decided to send. I've decided to send this as a response. Dear sister and brother-in-law, I am truly shocked and saddened by your reaction to my partner kissing me and with your continued behavior. I'd like to remind you that I am a human being, an adult, and your family. I am honored to carry your child and to help you as best I can. However, I insist on being treated as a person and not an incubator. I understand both of your worries and irrational thoughts, as this is your last attempt for a biological child. I truly empathize with you and want you to have your beautiful family. This is why I've agreed to do this completely free, with the restriction that we originally agreed to and set. I have been nothing less than compliant and considerate of all your requests. I have upheld my side of the agreement. I have kept my word and upheld my responsibilities towards the baby and yourselves. However, instead of being beyond grateful, you two have decided to stop respecting me, so much so that you now feel you are in a position to make any demands of me. Instead of treating me as the kind and very generous sister I am being, I love you, and I love the baby I am carrying for you. I would never, ever do anything to harm the baby or cause any disruption to a healthy, successful pregnancy and birth. I therefore, under no circumstances, sign the new agreement, as I do not agree with it. However, I do demand you both take a step back and try to look at this all rationally. I fully understand your anxiety around the baby, given the struggles you have faced. I feel for you greatly, but that does not mean you two get to treat me in this manner. The stress and distress that you two are causing me is far more damaging to the baby than any kissing between my partner and I. Again, I ask you to rethink what you're doing, and if you are not capable, I will have to start distancing myself from both of you until after the birth of your child. Lovingly, your sister.
Seems very fair.
Very well worded.
Yeah.
Very well worded.
But I'm just thinking, you know what will happen? I think so. I know what will happen.
Go for it.
The last line where she said, I'll have to start distancing myself from both of you, that will be blown out of proportion.
Oh, for sure. You're absconding with our unborn child.
Don't you dare! How dare you!
Yikes.
Womp, 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 womp. Last edit. I live in the Marshall Islands, and we have 0 COFAF aid, and so their worry wasn't coming from fear of me / the baby contracting it. They're paying for all the medical expenses and any expense that comes with the pregnancy. They just aren't paying me as a surrogate. The cost for a surrogate here can range from $50,000 to $120,000, and it's not unusual to pay way more than that. So, you know, a little bit that she's supposed to be getting taken care of, and that's all well and good. But yeah, I thought that one was kind of crazy.
Yeah, don't treat her like a lifeless incubator that you can just push around and, you know, just tell whatever what to do. She's a human, and humans do change their minds. Like, if she wants to kiss someone, she can kiss someone. Yeah, from the point of, like, STDs, yeah, understand you don't want her to have sex. That's fine. That's reasonable. But to go a step ahead and just, like, she can't even kiss? Like, come on.
You can't change. I'm altering the deal. Pray I do not alter it further.
Yeah, and we can't be having that. Can't be having that.
No, that's no good.
No.
No. I think that they're just being paranoid. They're being too paranoid. I don't know whether this family is religious or not. Sometimes that also feeds into that. You know, you can say, what's the word? People like a lot of, like, you know, false, you know, facts like that they develop over time. What's that called again? Fuck. Okay. Oops. Sorry. My bad. So yeah.
YouTube's gonna spank you.
Yeah.
Only me.
I think that they're just being paranoid.
It's gonna spank Josh. It's okay.
Superstitions. Yes, I found the word. Superstitions. God, Lord. Satan.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Hello?
Putting that together.
Somebody snuck in.
Ooh, who that might be.
Well, hello, ladies.
Hello, gorgeous.
Yay!
I could not find the link to join them. I swear to God. I was like scrolling in all these different little things, and I finally found it.
We believed in you. We believed in you the whole time. You came for the best one. At least the next one.
I was here for that whole incubator. Treating her like an incubator type of thing. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yes,
So bad.
outraged.
Like, how disrespectful do you have to be to your own sister to like tell her that she can't kiss somebody? Like, I get no sex because at any point in time you could track something that can be passed on to the baby, and even then, they have ways to remove the baby without what's the word? Without the baby contracting anything. But oh my god, but kissing? Honestly.
Right.
I feel as though the level of control that they want to have over her is definitely treating her like some brood mare that they bought at the county fair, and she's doing all of this for free. They can't even give her any slack. That's just
it's very shocking. Now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit of an oof.
Yeah.
All right, you ready for the next one?
There we go. Let's go. Let go.
My 19-year-old male, mom, 43-year-old female, asked my friend, 18-year-old male out, and now none of us know what to do.
My 19.
So the person telling the story is a 19-year-old male. His mom, who's 43, asked out his 18-year-old friend.
Oh.
What?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
That
You
borders
ready?
on predatory.
Yeah,
Borders
it's legal,
on.
but is it right?
Yeah.
Okay. My
Well,
friend, 18-year-old male, has known me, 19-year-old male, since high school. He came over often and we were good friends. He's a nice guy. See, he's pretty good looking and has a good personality, so a lot of girls also like him, but he's not really a player. This has never caused a problem before.
Oh. Never caused a problem before.
For a little while, I was wondering why he was avoiding me and constantly trying to get me out of the house until yesterday. There's 4 of us on a little camping trip. This is allowed, and I was happy to finally see him again. I didn't tell my mom that he would be coming with us, so I guess she assumed he would stay back. At night, the 2 of us were alone. He seemed kind of nervous, but he told me my mom, 43-year-old female, apparently hit on him. They are both single. He showed me his phone and the text messages from her. The texts were only from that day, but he said she had been doing other stuff when he came over for a while, usually when no one else was there, touching his leg, complimenting him, trying to get him to come over to help with a yard or car or fix something, which he always said no to. He felt like there was something weird going on, but it didn't make sense until then. I had no idea she was even into him. Then he asked me what to do. He really liked her, but only as a friend's mom. Smart kid.
Surprise, eh?
Yeah.
He doesn't have the best relationship with his own, so he kind of loves her in a platonic way. Well, I'm glad he told me because it would have been super weird if someone even younger than me became my stepdad. Although I know he wouldn't do that. He's really nice and shy, so it's very hard for him. So I don't know if I should tell her in his place, but how would I even do that? I feel like this would make our relationship awkward forever if I did that. So maybe I could just pretend I didn't know. Maybe he could just ignore her, just text back no. Maybe one of us should do it in person when we get back. Maybe we should pretend to actually be getting it on with each other in the woods and accidentally send her an audio recording. I'm not sure.
I think she'll suspect something with that one. That one's a little
Maybe
bit
she'll
too
want a
easy.
3-way.
That's so harsh, but I love it.
It's not a bad idea, actually. That's not a bad idea at all.
It's so awful. It's very clever, but it's awful.
Maybe we should I'm not sure if anyone else has ever been in this situation unless you're a porn star, but I would But I would appreciate
know
some
better.
advice.
You know it's an act.
Not just short term, but long term, because no one is going to be forgetting this anytime soon. 2020 is a whack all. Edit, I have a girlfriend. My friend is straight. I wouldn't actually pretend to date him, but he has thought of the idea of creating a fake girlfriend for himself. Second edit, we ended up telling the other guys on the trip. No one else is has experienced this. We're heading back tomorrow.
Well, it's good. They're trying to find different perspectives. Sorry, what, Nikki? My bad.
I was just saying, that just kind of cut the trip short. They don't want to camp anymore.
Everybody's like...
They just all want to go take a hot shower.
And they're absolutely 100% sure that she was pursuing him. Wasn't just innocently looking for help.
Well, apparently it's been going on for a while.
Yeah. I was double checking that evidence, you know?
Kids uncomfortable.
We kind of have to just go with what's there. It's not like he shared
Yeah. Because, people make mistakes sometimes, especially young people. They think they pick up signals that aren't really there.
Or 43-year-olds.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm saying especially young people. Not only young people, but especially.
I get I kind of am willing to agree on the touching the leg. Like, don't touch people, and then when nobody else is around.
Yeah.
That's
like
what sets it off. That's true.
Some weird stuff.
It's possible that I don't know, like that's where that debate comes in, isn't it? Okay, he's of legal age, so what's the problem? The problem is the power dynamics here. She's in a parental position, and she's quite older than him, and that's why people.
And financially, there's a financial difference there too.
Yeah, and this guy never has. I don't know if he's ever had a relationship or not, but he's new to the scene in relationships. All right,
predatory.
And to get into. Yeah, and if he doesn't have any experience or they don't have any experience before, this can become predatory and can be a power structure sort of thing.
My ears kind of perked up when the guy's describing his friend and says that he's a shy person who doesn't really get into these kinds of things, and it's like, that sounds like a target for a predator.
Especially because it said that he has a poor relationship with his own mother and looks to her as that kind of a figure. That's a huge red flag. You cannot twist that into a sexual relationship.
So,
I mean,
what
ethically,
should they do?
Anyways.
How should they handle this?
Just straight up say no and say,
honesty.
Please leave me alone. Simple as that.
I feel like they need to figure out how long the mom has been doing this type of thing, because I don't know, him being 18, who knows how long he's been 18. Maybe she's been, trying to get with him, when he was younger.
So
but yeah, you never know.
Would it be
because grooming is a thing?
Grooming,
and women can groom young boys.
Absolutely.
And it's seen as a good thing. I know of so many men who said that they lost their virginity at like 16 to a 25-year-old woman. And how is that okay?
That's not okay.
Yeah, I've heard the same. And they celebrate and they hear it, but you flip it around, and oh my God.
Yeah.
Worst crime ever. So.
I think I would suggest record everything. Record everything starting now. And anything that you have previous, record it, write it all down, get everything, all the pieces of information that you can, and then confront her and be like, listen, I'm not interested, I don't think this is appropriate, please do not deal with me on this kind of, in this kind of manner again. Thanks, but no thanks. And then if she continues, take it to the police.
Police, parents. Yeah, get help. Yeah. Get elders involved into it. Maybe she'll listen to them. When the parents come knocking and they're like, Miss, please, go find someone your age.
Well, it says that he doesn't have a good relationship with his mom, so are their parents involved?
Well,
that's another level to the predatory.
There's a difference between not having a good relationship with your parents and your parents are going to leave you hanging when you're getting, like, sexually harassed.
True. Right.
So that's a little too vague to maybe say one way or another, in my opinion.
But
I would be worried that
also.
If he doesn't have a good relationship with either of his parents, and he's just mentioning the mom one, then that could also, it's more of a, it's more of a point towards him being groomed,
Yeah,
her trying to take advantage of the
He
situation.
could be isolated.
This is a very interesting point.
Support
That,
system. Support systems are
there's
important.
someone in the chat who brought a very interesting point up. Northern Thompson. They said, it's a big red flag for me because she knew him in high school. It's almost like she was waiting until he turned 18. What if her dad was doing this to his daughter's girlfriends? It would be a big yikes. So if we read the first line of this post, it says, my friend 18 has known me, I'm 19, since high school. So, yeah. So how long has the mom known this kid?
Right.
That's a very interesting point. Yeah.
Yeah, could be more, could be less.
Yeah. So,
All right. So we think that their best option is to have a support system, any other adults that may be around, and record everything that you have, and then just try and be honest.
I would think that, first approach to, if you care about the mother and sparing her embarrassment, the boy she's after, a young man she's after, should be, when they're alone, politely, however he feels comfortable, expressing to her.
You could do it on
his
text.
letdown.
I think texting that is reasonable also.
Oh, I think so, considering they don't already have a relationship.
Especially
like
if there's just especially
however,
if there's just like an awkwardness to it.
Yeah, however he feels comfortable in this, because he's the one to consider. And then if she doesn't take no for an answer and it becomes a big thing, then absolutely just get all the support and record what you need to. And if you have to go the legal route, you have to go the legal route.
Yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't come to that for them.
Welcome to being an adult. All right.
Yeah.
boy.
It's fun.
How did I do this? Here we go. Would I be the asshole for evicting a tenant who repeatedly brings non-vegetarian food into a vegetarian-only apartment in violation of the lease agreement?
The actual legal thing you can put in a lease agreement. I've never seen that before.
I rent out a studio in the basement of my house. It is very explicitly stated in the lease agreement that tenants are not allowed to bring any non-vegetarian foods onto the premise. About a week ago, I saw that was clearly a meat package inside of a grocery bag that she was unloading from her car. When I confronted her and pointed to the lease agreement, she gave me an extremely bewildered look. She claimed ignorance, which I told her was no excuse whatsoever since she willingly signed the agreement. I pulled the agreement out on my phone and showed her the clause. I told her to immediately either discard the package along with any other non-vegetarian foods inside the bag into an outdoor trash bin or take it off the premises. I also told her to do the same thing for the apartment within 3 days, after which I will conduct an inspection. She screamed at me and told me to go to hell, refusing to discard the package that she was carrying. When I conducted the investigation, I very predictably found several meat packages and a carton of chicken broth inside of the refrigerator. I documented what I saw, gave her an official 15-day notice to quit, after which I will begin the eviction process. If she does not comply when I handed it to her, she went hysterical and started crying, claiming that I'm violating her human rights and that she'll starve to death.
Maybe a little dramatic, but I understand her point.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know if you're allowed to include that clause in rental agreements, but where I live, it is kind of seen as discriminatory to not give apartments or not to rent out, like according to the people's eating preferences. I might get it that some people are either religious or are afraid that the smell of the meat will spread through the apartment and leaves a lingering smell after the tenant leaves. That might be, but there are many ways to deal with that. So I don't understand why that would be in the lease. And not everyone reads their lease in that detail.
Everybody's kind of expecting a template. You throw a side thing in there without, like, verbally talking about that. Yeah. They might legitimately have not realized that was in there, correct?
Yeah. Sure. But still, it's just like terms of service. Nobody reads the terms of service, but you're still bound to them. So, you should read it.
To me, it seems, I would say, you're the asshole if you did not make it clear that was in the lease agreement. Not that you can't, and not that she's not responsible, but you're still kind of an asshole for not saying anything, because that's a weird, it's an unusual expectation. Yes.
And not to talk about it, and not to try to be understanding about it. It is possible, very possible, that she did not read it. So try be in her position. If she's someone who's used to eating meat, and you're suddenly telling her that I'm gonna kick you out in 15 days, where is that person going to go? Especially if it's currently in this environment, in the COVID environment.
That's why I'd be really curious as to when, or sorry, where this is, because it doesn't say the location. I'd be curious to know where this is, because I'm pretty sure, at least where I live, you need to give like 60 days. So it's like 2 months.
Yeah, it has to be reasonable notice. It has to be reasonable time.
So 15 days.
15 days is
not quite right.
In most states in the United States, it's 30, but I do know of places where it's 15. And I'm pretty sure I've either read this one or read an alternative one, because I swear I read something where they actually took the packages and then just threw them away.
There was another one that was like
that. Basically the same exact thing, but they threw the packages away.
Yeah.
So
they threw out somebody else's property, which you can't do.
Yeah.
So the question is would they be the asshole?
Yeah.
Yeah,
maybe not legally incorrect, but still a total asshole.
Yeah, it sounds like you're being kind of an asshole, period.
Yes.
Although this girl,
but, I mean,
I don't think this girl is very smart, because she said she was doing an inspection in 3 days, and why didn't she just move the meat out of her fridge?
Yeah. Maybe she didn't take it seriously, She was like, whatever.
Maybe.
Some people don't. They say you can't come inside an apartment and some stuff.
If that's not
like
something that's legally allowed to be in a lease agreement, she might be ignoring it because there's nothing, she can't kick her out legally, because that's not something that's actually allowed to be in a lease. So I'm not sure about that.
That would be interesting to find out.
Yeah, they can take help from a lawyer or something.
Hey. Well, we don't know where she is. If we knew where she was, we could look it up, but without knowing where she is, there's not a whole lot we can do about it. Okay.
Yeah.
My 20-year-old female boyfriend, 20-year-old male, said I was embarrassing him while I was giving birth to our baby.
Oh, what? I've read this one. Oh my god.
Please, let's hear it. Alrighty, let's hear it. While giving birth, huh, boy? Let's see you try that.
We have been in a relationship for... We have been in a relationship for 1 year, and we had a baby boy last week. I had a natural birth, and my boyfriend was there throughout the whole process. I screamed a lot, and each time I did, he whispered something like, "Can you stop screaming? You're really embarrassing me." I also threw up a few times, and I saw him cover his face in shame. When I held the midwife's hand for comfort, he whispered, "Let go of her. Stop being so embarrassing."
What?
He also said that my birthing position was embarrassing and called me a few vulgar names. I was really upset about his behavior that day, especially when I needed his support the most. When I try to talk to him about it, he denies ever saying it and that I'm being silly. Edit. Okay. I know there's a lot of comments, but I'm reading them all, and I just want to thank everybody for the advice and support so far. I spoke to my mom about this, but she is the very traditional type, and although she says his behavior is wrong, I should try couples counseling first. I really don't think he is going to listen to me when I suggest getting help, but I'll try. I'm also going to talk to my public health nurse. And then it's like...
Oh yeah, so that's not in America.
No, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work.
Edit 2, thank you so much to everybody who commented and DM'd me with words of support, and those who have been in similar situations. I have since tried to discuss the option of couples counseling to him with no avail, which didn't surprise me. My mom has agreed to let me stay there until I can find a new place for myself and baby. I haven't said anything to him yet. I've been advised not to, and I'm still planning on how I'm going to take the next step.
Good on you.
Poor thing.
Seriously, get out of that relationship. If
Honestly.
that person's so ignorant and they don't want to get educated on this, fuck them. They don't deserve you.
I feel like I would feel like I was going crazy. Like, I feel like I would be like, did I just imagine that they said that? Was I just, like, in so much, like...
gaslighting! Classic gaslighting! Like...
Yeah.
That's bad. And if they don't want to be educated about that, their own behavior, in order they can support their partner better, no one deserves a partner like that who does not want to improve or learn.
I do not understand anybody trying to, like, say anything. Like, I feel like maybe people just are not as educated about pregnancy as they should be, and, like, all of the horrible things that go along with it. Like, it's kind of almost romanticized. Like, the whole barefoot and pregnant
especially
thing.
Men.
Right? I don't know, it's like... I don't know. I think there's not enough education about it. Maybe.
I mean, I was reading this thing the other day, and it said that, oh shit, of course. As soon as I start talking, I immediately forget everything. But it was something like, I asked every woman, all of my women friends, whether or not they wanted to have a kid, and every single one of their responses was, only after this and this happened, if I have the right job, the right support system, if the time of my life is proper. And then she asked the same exact question to her men friends, and every single one of them said, yeah, eventually. And she said that it gave her a realization that men view having children as something that they just do, and then everybody else has to take care of every other step of the process.
Well, I mean, that's kind of not really their fault, because, like, they're not carrying the baby around. What's their portion of the work is done. Like, the biological, I should say the biological portion of their work is done, whereas the woman now needs to be pregnant for for 9 months. I was gonna say X amount of time, but it's the same, so I don't know why it didn't, whatever. for 9 months, and then goes on to breastfeeding, and then, right, so there's, like, more biological work that needs to be done than the men in this regard, so I can kind of understand that. However, like, you need to maybe think forward a little bit more, because you still have to do things. It's not like, oh, okay, well, I'm done.
Yeah, done.
I'm done.
If only.
3 minutes.
Yeah, it's I don't blame them. I like, it's one of the reasons I think that the guy is like that, because he's 20. He's 20.
Yeah.
Like, but still, like, didn't they get any
You're
how the
embarrassing
biological,
me
like,
being pregnant.
things work? Like,
What?
didn't they study pregnancy in their biological class in high school? Like, come on.
Not enough.
If it's in America, they didn't do it very well, because I know for a fact that no matter where you go, American sex ed is just
Kawasa for
I'm just gonna call it depressing.
That's a fair word, I think.
Yeah.
Kawasa for 20 said, "Yay, a talk show with lovely women." Thanks, Kawasa.
Hey,
Thanks.
thank you.
Where's my money? No.
So, whoa.
JK.
Shots fired.
A jerker. Okay, so there was an update to this one.
Oh, good.
Yes. Yeah, updates.
Ooh, nice.
Thank you very much for everyone's advice and support, both through DMs and on the original post. I want to update as many people were very concerned, and I promised it to a few people. Reading people's responses assured me about how serious the situation was and how I'd be stupid if I stayed in a relationship and allowed it to get worse. I spoke to my mom, who recommended couples counseling, and if that didn't work, I would be allowed to live with my parents. I then approached him, and he came home and gave him an ultimatum. I told him he can either continue to ignore that he acted horribly during the birth and other numerous times, or he can admit how he has treated me and apologize and get counseling. But obviously, he continued to gaslight me and got extremely angry to the point where he was screaming at both me and the baby. He ended up storming out to his best friends. I was also advised against couples counseling by many of you, as you said it often encourages an abuser's behavior, which made a lot of sense, and I wish I had read that before speaking to him. My mom, came around after he left and said he's an asshole, and even though she doesn't agree with single parenting... Wait, you don't get to agree or disagree with that, but okay. Fine, Mom. Thanks.
Thanks for the support, Mommy.
Well, depending how old a mom is, emotional abuse isn't even seen as something that's wrong. Like,
right.
Oh, right.
Like, I know
lives.
of so many women who have been emotionally abused the entirety of their relationship, but they just don't care because, it's not physical, so whatever, you know.
Oh, we had that with
they didn't cheat on me.
One of the trolls on Twitter was talking about
honey.
that.
You have to compromise.
One of the trolls on Twitter was going on about, well, how have I harmed anyone? How have I harmed anybody? And we explained to them multiple times that if you bring up an underage child onto the internet and expose that person and expose that child to people as harmful as, like, take for example Steve's trolls are, you are doing emotional harm to the parent and to that child, and you're doing even more potential harm in the future. For example, look at Lily Jean. So you can't do the... Oh, but I didn't cause anybody any physical harm. Nobody said physical. What are you talking about?
There are many types of harm, you
No, they just want to justify their behavior, right? That's what abusers do.
Or, there's all sorts of ways, or spreading false information and slander against somebody you're close with that could affect your whole family's perception of you if they believe it. Mm-hmm. There's so many ways. Actions have consequences.
Yeah.
Yep.
So my mom came around after he left and said he's an asshole, and even though she doesn't agree with single parenting, she thought it would be better than staying with him and enabling his behavior. He has tried to visit me and the baby since, as I guess I was at my mom. He guessed I was at my mom's. Both my mom and I have told him it's over and we're leaving, the rest down to the courts. I will be telling my solicitor everything, so who knows what the custody arrangements will be. I am just glad that myself and my baby are out of there and can finally enjoy being a mother. Yesterday I went shopping and bought what I wanted instead of what he wanted, and never felt so free since before I met him. To many people that will sound ridiculous, but quite frankly, he controlled every single aspect of my life. However,
oh dear Lord,
I am planning on going to therapy, as I feel like the bad experience I had at my birth, as well as his abuse in other areas, has left me a profound effect on me. I also called a few domestic abuse hotlines, and they gave me some brilliant advice. Thank you to whoever it was that sent me those. What was weird was the best friend he went over to see actually contacted me yesterday to say how he's happy to hear that I'm leaving him. He said that he noticed how unhappy he made me and how disrespectful he is around women as a whole, and that the abuse didn't exist just towards me, but to his colleagues also. So it's good to know that I have a few people on my side. No doubt things will be constantly changing from now until the foreseeable future, and I am terrified, but the main thing is that I'm away from him, and me and my son are safe, and that feeling empowered, and I'm feeling empowered enough to know that the way he treated me was 100% wrong, and he will pay the right price as long as I fight for it. Thanks again. I won't forget that you all helped me in a time when I needed it most. Yay! Happy ending!
The internet is such a cool place sometimes. Oh my god.
Sometimes.
Right?
When it works correctly.
Yeah. Having the wealth of human knowledge at your fingertips is very cool.
I mean, like, I found all of you guys on the internet, you know?
Aww.
And getting actual help and having people, like, not only understand and relate to what you're going through, but also, like, give you an insight. Like, this type of thing, I mean, am I the asshole is kind of... it's touch and go, but at the same time, like, think about how many people have left abusive situations because of that.
There's the am I the assholes, but there's also relationship advice, and those are relatively heavily moderated. And so, actually, even Am I the asshole is even pretty well moderated. So that you don't usually get the, like, telling people being like, oh, KYS. There's not, like, there's a couple, and sometimes people will jump on one thing and not, so sometimes it's a little bit hypocritical. But you're asking, they're not all the same people, so you're asking strangers on the internet, and you think it's gonna be consistent every time you go to that subreddit? Nah, bruh.
Well, I got my comment deleted because I insulted a guy who was clearly like abusing his partner, and I called him a name, and they're like, "No, you're gonna get this comment deleted," and I was like, "Fine." So I went back and I wrote a little bit of a better one.
You're like, "Oh, okay, fine. I won't be lazy.
Just gonna reword it."
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly. Yeah, you have to be careful about that. They'll delete your comment like at the slightest like.
Yeah, and that's fine. Like I was reacting emotionally, and the fact that they straight up caught me, even though that guy was an asshole, you know, that's I was doing just about the same thing that he was doing, you know.
Yeah. All right. Am I the asshole for calling my 24-year-old female, my 21-year-old female? Father-in-law, 55-year-old male, and his very inappropriate relationship with my cousin, 26-year-old female.
Oh boy, I
recently got married to my husband, and so far it's been great. However, I can see that my father-in-law has a great dislike for me, but I've been nothing but kind and helpful to him. My husband is the only child, and my father-in-law really wanted a daughter. I thought he'd be excited when I joined the family as a daughter, but nope. Instead, my father-in-law blatantly favors my cousin. So not his niece. His niece-in-law.
Wow.
Alright? He says stuff like, she's my daughter and I'm so proud of her. It really annoys me, and when I bring it up, he says that I'm his daughter-in-law, but she will always be like a daughter to him. Okay. Weird, but alright. Kind of rude.
Yeah.
But if it's genuine, if they have an actual connection like that, I mean, it's unfortunate, but it can happen.
Yeah.
If it's honest.
So far...
I feel people use that as a way to get back at someone.
Oh,
Sometimes they do that. That's an abusive tactic, to favor someone else and totally disregard the person in the family. It's done a lot, and so it's emotional manipulation and harm. So yeah, let's read further and see what they have to say.
We were visiting the United States pre-Covfefe and visited the city that my cousin and her new fiance lived in. We weren't initially planning on visiting them, and I think my father-in-law wanted to visit her without us. However, we decided to go last minute because of my mom. Now, when we went to her place, we were taken aback by her success. She's done really well for herself, and I am proud. When we were there, my father-in-law and cousin connected like no time had passed, and they were laughing and joking. He also gave her a valuable item that she apparently been talking about forever, and he bought it especially for her. He's never done any shit like that for me. After we visited, my father-in-law couldn't stop going on and on about how she's done well for herself and he's proud of her, and she will always be a daughter to him, and yada yada. He also said that he's so happy that she didn't end up marrying his son, my husband, or else she wouldn't have gotten as far as she did, and her new fiance is so much better. I got pissed off and questioned their relationship and why they're so close and why they even keep in contact now. We live in separate countries. I said that something must be going on and that he must have had some type of feelings for her to consider her this much. You've crossed a line about your jealousy a little bit, in my opinion. That's not cool.
Nah, that's not cool. That's nasty. Like, I get it that you're jealous.
I can understand
it's fine. It's a human.
Well, I get not understanding and want to know, like, why are you like this with this person, and why do you seem to dislike me, and now you're insulting your son? Like, because, like, you don't need to insult other people to praise somebody. You can say, hey, I'm so proud of my niece-in-law or whatever, and I view her as a daughter, and not throw it in other people's faces. And you could also be like this father-in-law is clearly very passive-aggressive, at the very least. But implying this is you might have overstepped a little.
Yeah. There's a way of going about these things. It may be that he wanted her to do something like that. Maybe that's why he was doing that she becomes disrespectful. And then he can use that as a reason. See, I said she's not good for you, son. And, even though she's the sweetest person on the planet, but jealousy can sometimes it's a
Well,
reason
especially
that
when
sometimes
somebody's
some people
pushing
can
you,
say the
right?
worst things worse. Yeah.
Especially if somebody's pushing you.
And it may not even really be jealousy. It could just be the insecurity from being beaten down by this person for so long. If you come into a situation and somebody is constantly saying bad things about you, constantly praising somebody else in your life
As
that
a
you,
pedestal.
in theory, have a good relationship with, it's like, how many times have you heard stories about guys who will look at their wife and say, your sister's prettier than you, or something like that. Like, it's a common thing. And if they don't say it outright, they imply it. It's almost like a negging thing. It's like, I want to make sure you know your place, that, if you act up, I find, your sister's better. It's a horrible thing to do.
My grandfather would do that. My mom's father, he was a passive aggressive person, and he would do that whenever my mom and a sister and her, children would visit him. We would go there like it would be a family get together every time. And he would make it very clear that he does not like me, but he favored my aunt's kids. He would do that right in front of me. Like, when you're serving stuff, he would refuse to take anything from me, but from other kids, he would readily take anything that was served for. Yeah,
that
was
is
that bad.
Intense.
Yeah,
that is
and
intense.
I remember that, and so yeah, it affects people. It does, but there's a way to go about it. There's always a way to go about it. She could have walked away, and thought about it.
She snapped and she overplayed.
Breath.
She overplayed her hand by saying it that way. Is what she did.
She did. Yeah. She
doesn't mean she's necessarily wrong in what.
Yeah.
In that she's getting pushed and she's getting egged on to get to this point, but you have to be smart about it.
Yeah. You have to be smart about it, exactly, because it's very easy to demonize someone.
Well, it's also hard to do if you don't know, right? If you don't realize this is going on and what's happening, be aware. So let's keep going. Let's see what happens.
Yep.
My father-in-law lost it and told me that she's always been so much better than me, and that now he didn't want to have any relationship with me anymore, and I'd always be his son's unworthy wife.
Ooh, now, shit. See, that's what I said. That's what he was looking for, and he got it.
So now his son is terrible, but his wife is unworthy of his terrible son?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
This dude's a dick.
Oh,
I still don't think she should have said this the way she did, but...
Yeah.
She
could have simply said, why you are favoring us so much and you don't even, give any consideration to me. She could have just said that, and that would have been enough, I think so.
Probably.
But, she just gave him that opportunity to go for it.
One of the most entertaining things you could ever do to somebody being passive-aggressive is to be upfront and just straightforward. Why are you saying this? Because they're like, well, I didn't imply anything. I'm not asking what you implied. I'm asking why you said this very specific thing that you just said. Because you can't get around that. That's literally what they just said.
Oh, they try. They'll try though.
Oh yeah. Which is fun. That's the fun part.
It's very true. Right. Absolutely.
Let's see. Now, I do have to add, my cousin and my husband were engaged first.
What? Oh,
yeah.
The cousin and her husband were engaged beforehand.
Well, that adds a lot of clarification.
Okay.
Here we go.
So they did have a pre-existing relationship of this woman who might have become his daughter-in-law, and then didn't. And he always liked her better. And now we have some understanding, some context.
Yes.
Yes, we do.
It makes a lot more sense. It's still awful, but it makes a lot more sense now.
Well, at least we know how the pieces fit. Like, how did this guy meet this girl's cousin to this degree?
Yeah. Right.
It's funny how they didn't mention that from the start. They mentioned it now after he said those horrible things to her. Now they're mentioning it.
My cousin and my husband used to be were engaged once. They broke up. Listen, you need to rearrange the story.
Yep.
Please. All right, let's go. I fell in love with my husband during their engagement, and I helped him cheat. I apologized to her for that, and it was a huge rift in my family. She didn't accept my apology at all at the time and called me a cunt.
Okay.
Don't blame her.
She hasn't talked to me. She hasn't talked to me since, and the first time she did was when we visited her, so just now in the story. But at the visit, she acted like everything is apparently okay and didn't even feel like there was ever any animosity between us. Oh, and it didn't feel like that. My father-in-law has been giving me the cold shoulder and won't let me talk to him anymore. When I accompanied my mom and asked her to reason with them, she told me I needed to stop and that I'm the asshole. But I don't see what I did wrong, and I've always been trying my best to be a daughter to them. I know I made a mistake with cheating, but why should I have to suffer for my entire life? Am I the asshole?
Oh, honey.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
All
So
right.
we go.
Experts take over. Here we go.
Entire life? No, I don't think. All right, so she did a bad thing. She screwed up. She seems to acknowledge she screwed up. It seems like they've made it very clear to her how they feel about her screw up. Do I think that her rest of her marriage and the rest of her life, she should be tortured for this thing if she's remorseful? No. I think that they need to communicate and come to some sort of understanding where either they say, listen, I can't get past the thing you did, so maybe it's best we don't have a relationship, at least until we can work it out, or work it out. It's one or the other. To do this passive-aggressive back and forth garbage, it's unhealthy for everybody involved, regardless of who did what and who's right or wrong. The whole thing is I don't even know who I'd have empathy for at this point. They're all just like this massive
babies throwing toys around.
I'm gonna
and
go
also,
ahead.
so I'm stuck on this part of the stepdad. No, stepdad. Sorry, the
Father-in-law.
The father-in-law. Thanks. So many stories. The father-in-law is saying that my son is so screwed up that your cousin. Thank goodness she wasn't with him, because she never would have accomplished the great things she did in life if she was with my son. But I'm going to be forever resentful of you because your cousin's not with my son.
The father-in-law is blaming. The father-in-law is putting all of the blame on her and not enough of the blame on on his son, obviously.
Yep.
He knows his son.
He
did blame him, yes, but he's still blaming her more.
It's more on the girl than on his own son. And so the father-in-law should have been he could have communicated from the start, like, listen, this has been very awkward. I was expecting someone else to be my daughter-in-law, now it's you, and I can't accept it because of the cheating and stuff. Maybe we should stay away from each other for a while till I come to accept you.
They all need to be adults about where it is.
Exactly.
Now.
Yeah. And
I do think that this girl is not actually remorseful. This girl does not realize and does not care that she messed up. And I can tell you what is tipping me off to this. It is I don't think I've done anything wrong, but it's also the order in which this story is being told.
Yep. Exactly.
She does not think that that's important. She knows she messed up, but is not being forthright and forthcoming about that information from the get-go to try and emotionally manipulate whoever is reading the story to already be on her side before dropping that bomb.
They were both engaged and they were to be married, but I helped him cheat. So, coming back to the story.
So anyway, I feel upset. I'm upset because this guy's kind of mean to me. Yeah, he's being passive aggressive, and yeah, he shouldn't be being passive aggressive because that's douchey and just say what you mean. But bruh, So
yeah, like the feelings are valid. The way they're being handled is not.
Yeah, he has his reasons, but he shouldn't be.
Edit.
No. Right.
So before we get too far now.
There we go.
Roller coaster.
My husband
to the story. Sorry.
My husband and cousin were arranged, meaning my mom found my husband for my cousin, and they started getting to know each other / dating for 6 months. Then they decided they liked each other and got engaged. They were engaged for 1.5 years until my husband cheated with me.
Shit.
We got engaged 4 months after we were, and were married 6 months later, using the wedding they already planned for my cousin and my husband.
Oh, wow. That is so nasty.
PIL. I'm not sure what
just
P
deserve
is.
each other
Parents?
at this point.
Honestly.
Parents-in-law insisted because they already paid, and my cousin refused to pay her share after what happened. My parents and PIL. I don't know what P is.
Wait. So
Oh yeah, no, it is
she
parents-in-law.
just complained that her cousin refused to pay the wedding that she didn't even
Get to have.
See my brain? Like,
Because
My
the
brain!
husband cheated? This woman
my
is
God, my brain.
entitled as
No.
hell.
She's an
That
asshole.
might be the worst part right there.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's terrible.
Oh wait, don't say this is the worst part. We're not done yet.
Oh god.
I didn't say it's
Oh,
worse.
okay.
It's just bad.
My
Okay, here we
parents
go.
and parents-in-law, including my father-in-law, pushed for my husband's and mine's marriage after the cheating because they didn't want to scandalize our family. Too late! My cousin doesn't live in my
Jesus.
husband and mine's country, and when they were engaged, she stayed in the United States while my husband split time between the United States and our country. Surely, how did she and my father-in-law become so close in such a short time? You mean over the course of a year and a
1.5
half?
years?
Well, no, 2 years.
Over the course
so
of
they dated
what was
each
supposed
other
to be the marriage?
they dated each other for 6 months, and then they were engaged for 1.5 years. So they knew each other for over
Yeah.
2 years.
Oh, wow. Yeah, they did, obviously. People can talk on phone. There's WhatsApp, Skype, Microsoft
Internet.
Teams, for heaven's sake.
I mean, it definitely wasn't, comfort. I mean, she definitely wouldn't have looked toward anyone for some comfort.
I mean, with this woman being your family, maybe she was looking for family outside of her own.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
How did they get to know each other in such a short time? By short time, you mean 2 years. Okay.
Yep.
Well, she's expecting to be in that position in a less amount of times. They were engaged for 4 months and got married 6 months later, so they knew each other for a year.
Less than 1 year, yeah.
That's crazy.
What the
They
hell?
apparently texted each other frequently and know so much about each other. My cousin also has both of her parents, so she isn't in need of some father figure in her life. You don't
Oh my
get to
God.
decide that. This
Wow.
bitch.
She's so jealous, my lord.
Oh, she
That's
made
probably why
made
she
a
went
ter-
after him to begin with.
Yeah, maybe.
Because she was jealous.
She just made a terrible bed for herself, and
And she
Yeah.
thinks she's entitled to not have to sleep in it.
Oh.
Oh.
No.
You
God,
got
why
this,
wouldn't my
man.
cousin pay for my wedding that
Yeah.
I cheated on her husband with for?
Her fiance, yeah. Wow. Okay.
Okay, let's go.
And she's
Let's go.
oh my god. My cousin also has both her parents, so she isn't in need of some father figure in her life. And she's also close with her fiance's dad, from what I can gather. I don't understand why
Multiple
they
father
aren't.
figures.
I don't understand why they aren't just letting this relationship go, because they don't have to. You're the
don't have
problem.
Why can't she have multiple father figures in her life? You jealous?
No, you know what she's jealous of? You know what she's jealous of? This woman clearly gets along well with men in general. Like gets along with boys easily. And this girl clearly does not. And I wonder why.
Yep.
Oof. Ooh, why don't they just let this
Wow.
relationship go? This relationship that has nothing to do with me that I'm complaining about. I don't understand why I'm being antagonized for saying something based on facts.
It's
No, these are not all the facts, son. You're not considering all the facts. The fact that you cheated, the fact that you tried to hijack someone else's wedding, you idiot! You dyspeptic nincompoop! You maudlin, braggadocious, dyspeptic nincompoop!
I'm not convinced this person is saying things on facts. Oh my god. This has crossed
too. If this is how much she's saying, there's probably a lot she's leaving out still.
I'm sure.
This has crossed the lines of an appropriate father-in-law/daughter relationship. Your relationship or the cousin's relationship? Which relationship are you talking about? Because you guys are passive-aggressive dicks to each other for very good reasons why you might not get along. You shouldn't be passive-aggressive dicks to each other. You should just go your separate ways, but you're demanding a relationship from this person who wants nothing to do with you. For all we know, and I'd be willing to bet that I'm kind of banking that the father-in-law already did flat out tell this woman, and she's just ignoring him. So now because he has to deal with her, he's being a snide dick.
Yeah. He's like, no means no, honey. Stay away from me. But Dad! And he's like, okay.
What about her? Why does she have both of her parents? Why does she need another father figure? And why is this person required to fill that role for you that you're when you demand it of them?
Right.
After you screwed up his son's, now his son screwed it up too, but after you both screwed up what a pedant seemed like was a good relationship.
It wasn't if you cheated in the first place.
Exactly. Obviously it wasn't. But it was a good relationship, and the fact it seems like the family accepted her more, they liked her. It was a good match as far as they were concerned, but yeah, like Nikki said, obviously between the two of them.
I feel like this is one of the trolls that we deal with online. Like this is like their real life.
Because men just have no self-control at all.
Oh.
Right?
How dare they be required to have self-control?
Helios for 5 says, yeah, I don't think Helios said, yeah, I don't think she's paying for one mistake for her whole life. I think that she is sabotaging not only her relationship, but also her husband's.
Yep.
I think that's what she is. She's probably just a saboteur.
Yeah.
And her husband was just the best one, so she kept him. She's probably really just a saboteur.
Look, she gets mad.
I get it that, I can kind of get it that in arranged marriage, people think that they're in love, but then they meet someone else, and then they're like, okay, I don't think that this is working out for me. There are ways of amicably separating, but to cheat and then separate, that's something entirely different. So they're admitting that they helped to cheat. So that's where it all started. So if you acknowledge that, it might be easier for you to accept why your father-in-law is being an asshole towards you. They are being an asshole towards you, but you're kind of the first asshole, so everybody's being an asshole.
And you're refusing to accept responsibility and making demands. How about stop making demands from people? Okay, edit 2. This is not about whether or not I was wrong or not about cheating. It was wrong and I admit it and I apologize to everyone. But I said I was sorry. They should just accept and love me now.
I said I was sorry.
This is about my father-in-law not giving me a chance and not being fair. He's not being fair, guys. Everyone has skeletons, but that doesn't mean they should have been given that doesn't mean they shouldn't be given a chance.
You keep getting your skeletons.
The thing she did. Yeah, the thing she did was to these people. It was against these people's feelings. It'd be one thing if she did it to another family, maybe.
Not their feelings, their lives.
It's not personal, but this is personal. They have every right to hold a grudge.
I get it. You cheated. All right. You apologized. Okay. But after that, maybe step back and stop, stepping on people's shoes for a while. Because resentments take time to go away. Right? You can't expect someone just to dive into another relationship with you just as if they're coming out of another one. That doesn't happen like that. It's not like a snap thing.
I'm sorry that I did this thing and messed up the entire future and everything that you had planned, but you need to treat me as an actual daughter now and love me because I say so. I said I was sorry.
That's not reason.
Okay.
Glorious. What are you, woman? Stop. Whatever you're doing, just stop.
Yep, stop, please stop.
Although it is I do enjoy when people ask, am I the asshole? And when they get told you're the asshole, they're like, but I said I was sorry.
Sorry.
You're asking if you're the asshole. The answer is yes. Okay, you guys are gonna like this one. My 23-year-old female boyfriend, 25-year-old male, has stopped showering during lockdown, and for the past 2 months has only been spraying Febreze on himself.
We have a super chat.
Padme for 666. Still a better love story than Twilight, but not by enough.
Oh, good.
Oh,
God.
So
Oh my God. My stomach's hurting from laughter.
If I lived with somebody and they stop showering, they have two options. You start showering, or you go live in a doghouse out in the backyard. And if you don't have a backyard or a doghouse, you're out of luck.
You're not even getting the couch inside.
No, you're out.
Not even the car.
I'm sorry, I can rephrase that. Let them have the couch. Let them have the couch. And then when they're sleeping, you get a big bucket of soapy water, lukewarm, and you just dump it on them. And you give them a quick little scrub, and they'll be so confused that they'll just go in the shower anyways, because they'll want to wash off whatever you just dumped.
Wait for them to get home from wherever they, like if they go outside, and be sitting on the front lawn with a hose in your hand. And when they start walking up, you spray the hose, and what you do is you get shampoo in a bottle, and you just spray it into as it's going, so it'll carry the soap with it.
Have the attachments. Put it right on on the hose, and you put whatever you want in it.
Take them to the pet store. Drag them by the chain to the pet store. I know they don't want to go, and you just get the lead, and you drag them in, and you tie them up to the side. And
give them a treat to distract them, and let them be hosed down and groomed. Yeah.
Yep.
That's awful. Oh, gross.
Right. Are you ready? Are you ready?
No, I'm not ready.
No.
We're going. No. Plug your nose. I can't believe it. I have been dating my boyfriend for 2 years and living together for 1. A few weeks ago, I started to notice that, well, he kind of smelled bad. Not like a one-time thing, but day to day, he smelled pretty poorly. Then a light bulb went off in my head, and I suddenly realized that I had not seen him shower in a long time. I brought it up awkwardly, and he said, without shame, yeah, he has not been showering since he doesn't have to go out. He works from home. We can't go out to socialize because, of course, we get groceries delivered, etc. So he says there's no point in showering. Then he says, quote, "Let me show you my routine." He's happy about this.
She's not a person to him. He'll shower. He'll shower to go out with other people. He'll shower for other people. He won't shower for his own lover. You serious?
Yeah.
Ew.
Well, no, that's not his lover. That's his mommy.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. I misheard the beginning. I thought it was
you should
girlfriend.
treat your mother better and shower for your mom, though.
I'm confusing all sorts of things. I don't know.
No, he says, I can't believe it. I've been dating my boyfriend for 2 years.
No, that's not his girlfriend. That's his mommy. That's his mommy.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
I got you.
Let me show you my routine. And he goes to our pantry and pulls out a spray Febreze bottle and mists his clothes with it. I was like, dude, it doesn't work that great, no offense, you start to smell. He scoffed and says I'm exaggerating.
Is he? Yeah. Is that's all he does, or he's exaggerating that's more than he does?
No, he's saying that she's exaggerating by saying he smells.
Oh,
really, honey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
People are so oblivious about their own bodily odors.
You really think that if you didn't smell like a considerable amount that they would have brought it up?
Right.
Yeah. Nah,
people are nose blind
this
to
is a
themselves.
tactic to gaslight. You're exaggerating. It's not that bad. Yeah, I smell, but I don't smell that bad that you're
Well, I
bringing it
used
up.
Febreze, man. What are you even saying?
You're being oversensitive.
I was like, dude, it does. And I was like, Febreze is not a good way to be clean. He said I'm ruining his home comfort style. I was like, what?
He's
we
gonna
had a
get
big
sick.
argument about it.
Yeah, he will.
Yeah.
He's gonna get her
her
sick.
sick.
Yeah.
He is going to get a
Yeah.
rot. He's going to get
He's
a rot.
refusing to shower until all restrictions are lifted, and he has to go out into the world. He is adamant showering is not needed. He said it is a waste of water. As a compromise, he offered to become naked once a week and wipe himself down, but would not shower.
Why?
Oh. There's a reason why people
Waste of water.
shower.
I hope the end of this is a breakup and a separation completely from physical
Please,
space.
please.
I said this.
You know, it's really funny.
This is like
that.
you can go, okay, but I live here too, so this is still the real world to me. Now, if you want to go and find another apartment and go and live in your own filth by yourself, like you're basically a poorly taken care of fish tank, you can go do that over there.
Well, no,
where it's not assaulting my nose.
She's having to literally teach him how to properly, like, take care of himself, and
Wow.
that's why she's his mommy. Because,
Yeah.
you know.
But nobody should
Apparently
have
she
to
has to
adopt a
teach
child
him.
they didn't ask for. It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
but doesn't every woman? I mean,
What
Great.
do
Most
you
of the time.
mean?
Usually.
He's compromising, guys. What are you talking about?
is he?
oh, so sorry.
The offense itself bothers me less than the lack of consideration for the person that he's with.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
just insane to me.
To be
that
fair, it
I'm
might
not gonna
annoy
do
you
it unless I'm
more.
around people, but you don't matter.
The initial offense might annoy you more if you had to smell it.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
the thing is, I wouldn't even
you
be
get
like
used to
typing,
yours.
I don't know what to do about this relationship. That's what's too, like, you do know what to do. You do know
you
what to
see
do.
how
Bye.
How the assholes like come out after the relationship sort of becomes permanent and you can't get out of it. Like this
Sure
is a
you can. I got a
situation
divorce.
they're living in a bubble. They can't go out of that bubble, so the asshole's not coming out, right? If they were living separately, it would have been fine.
And it can take you by surprise, and you can be in
Yeah.
denial to the point where you think you can fix it. And she's probably missing the inconsideration part to a degree.
I
She's
don't know.
focused
She
on trying
does
to
have
fix
the
the
word
problem.
compromise in quotes. I think she's well aware, and she's
Okay,
just.
so okay.
I'm getting
Okay.
the feeling from this
I
that
just-
she's just baffled.
I don't know. Maybe I'm bitter. I just can't imagine getting past something so blatantly, like personally offensive.
Mhm.
Of like,
Yeah.
your feelings don't matter, your comfort doesn't matter, my comfort matters only. Like, how do you?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yes.
I said
Well,
this
it's
is. Oh, go ahead.
it's a symptom of things to come.
Mhm.
Like,
Right.
Yep.
He's clearly not just what's the word dehumanizing her. He's trivializing anything that she has to say about it, and he's right and she's wrong no matter what. Like,
Listen, Febreze will solve all your problems.
And make
Drown
her feel like
him
or seem like she's
with the
crazy.
Febreze. Well, he's sleeping on the couch. Just open the bottle and open his mouth and plug his nose and just don't do that. Don't do that.
That's technically a crime, but
Yeah,
I think
don't
the court
do
is here. I
crimes.
think that would be okay.
Yeah. All right. I said this is
Belly button.
disgusting, and well, okay, so if it's okay for him to not care about whatever she wants, is it reasonable for her to start lighting all of his clothes on fire that he hasn't washed? And be like,
Yes.
what?
Nice.
It's bothering. This is the way I do laundry now. It's a waste of water to put them through the washing machine.
oh yeah.
So you gotta get creative in these things. That's what we're saying, you know?
Just start throwing dishes on the ground and breaking them. Well, I mean, it's a waste of water to wash dishes.
It might be another symptom, that your boyfriend might be depressed.
Yeah, it could be a
It's,
depression issue.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
if
That
we
should be
wanna
something
actually-
that's addressed, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just remembered, like, people start stop looking after themselves when they're depressed. They
Sure.
don't. Yeah,
But
so
his reasoning sounds very specific. It sounds like this is less because, I mean, I've been there. I've suffered with depression off and on my whole life. I mean, depression's off and on, you always have it, but it's been an issue off and on. But in those moments,
because it comes in waves.
But when somebody brings something to my attention and says, "Hey, what you're doing is causing me stress and me harm or me whatever," you don't necessarily tune that out. That's symptomatic of a little bit more than just depression.
Yeah.
To be so incredibly self-centered that you're like, I'm going to do this self-destructive behavior. I'm going to ignore the fact it's self-destructive. He doesn't seem to even be aware. He thinks it's all okay. He's convinced that showering is not a necessary hygienic thing.
Yeah.
And sure, people used to live without showering, but they didn't live very long.
They also had different ways of cleaning themselves.
Yeah, well, sure, but the one
it was more the change. It was more the change. It was actually more the change in soap and the availability of soap that changed things.
Yeah.
So you can get away with not showering, but you still need to clean yourself.
It's how you wash. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Febreze is not.
Well, no, there was also.
It's not even Lysol.
England,
At least Lysol kills stuff. Sorry, Nikki.
You can use dirt.
No, you're fine. Like during the Black Plague, every single part of Europe had a 90% death rate with the Black Plague, except for one small part of Europe, and that was, I think, Poland, if I'm not mistaken. And the reason is because those people took showers and washed their hands. Everywhere else in Europe, were literally throwing their raw sewage into the only water source that they had, and were so scared to take baths because of how gross it was. Also, by the way, it was there was something in the Bible that said that taking a shower was sinful or whatever. So
there's all sorts of stuff in there that's really bad hygiene advice.
Let's keep going and see.
What the hell?
Let's keep going and see where she goes with this.
Yes.
I said this is disgusting and I wasn't going to make love with somebody who has not showered for months, and he began to cry. He says I'm trying to shame him and says I'll use more Febreze as if that's what the issue is.
Man, that girl doesn't want the bacteria that's living on your skin.
I'm starting to think
it's someone else. What's going on here?
The dick cheese, though.
Oh my god, I'm gonna throw up. Oh my god, I can't. Oh my god, I can't.
I'm starting
bad
to
after a couple days, like especially if the guy's not circumcised. It's a whole other conversation. I have nothing. I'm totally for not circumcising. I like
Mr. Serious says he's gonna bathe.
You need to be hygienic. You need to be hygienic. God damn it.
Mr. Serious said. Mr. Serious said he's gonna bathe in his tears.
Yeah, make him cry more. That's smart.
No, I can actually now. I'm starting to get like.
He's having a breakdown
of sorts. Where I can smell something.
Yeah, it takes a lot to get my gag reflex going, but this might do it.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think we may have to break up because of this crazy issue. He will not budge on this, and he's taking a stand against showering for some reason. But he insists when the lockdown is 100% over, he will go back to showering. He also hasn't changed his underwear for a week, by the way, because he says laundry is also a waste, so he wants to stretch everything out and says Febreze works on boxer briefs as well as on sofa cushions. I am so not about this. Am I overreacting?
Okay.
Is it normal for guys to just Febreze themselves instead of showering?
Wait, how old are they again?
25 and 23,
20?
I think. Yeah, 23 female and 25-year-old male.
Inexcusable. Absolutely inexcusable. And it sounds like she's not even, talking. It's all about the smell. She's not talking, I mean, the bacteria, there's so many, it's not just about the smell. Nobody wants somebody pressed against their body that's covered in diseases and filth. It's just.
Ew.
I mean, maybe some people do. I don't want to kink shame, but most people don't.
A car wash. Take him through a car wash and roll the window down on his side.
on his side, yeah.
That would be a waste of water, though, huh?
Padme for 666 says, "Don't body odor shame. So much for the tolerant left." Thoughts by Dre Brown says, "Chesh, really? I was trying to eat dinner and listen to this show. Dick cheese, really?" My God, you are so
my least favorite cheese.
I'm not sure it's my least favorite cheese.
I do.
Also known as man butter.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not a good word.
Okay.
You're
Are
welcome.
you sure that's not something? Never mind, I'm not gonna go there. Okay. Am I overreacting? Is it normal for guys to just Febreze themselves instead of showering? Should I really end my relationship over this, since it looks like lockdowns are starting to open up pretty significantly and maybe in a few weeks he'll go back to showering? I'm so confused. TLDR, my boyfriend refuses to shower during lockdown and has been spraying Febreze on himself every day. I find it very smelly and don't like it.
As soon as that lockdown gets lifted, kick him out or get away from him.
I am willing to bet this guy is having a mental breakdown. He doesn't feel like he has any control, and so the only thing he feels like he can control is his bodily washing habits, and he's having a straight up breakdown.
I was thinking about that too, because we we're at our workplace, we do go through these mental well-being seminars and stuff, and then they say the first thing the person who's not in a good state of mind is they stop looking after themselves. So not showering is a way. So yeah,
and it's a way to feel like he's got control over something in a situation where he's now cooped up. He doesn't know what to do with himself. He has no control over the situation in the world because it's a pandemic, and so this is the only thing he feels like he has control over. And now his work life has invaded his home life. You know
why people procrastinate? Because they think they're not in control.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Being in control is very important, yeah.
But that doesn't...
It happens to a lot of people. It manifests in different ways.
Yep.
You know, some people do it with food, some people do it with...
However, this is still disgusting, and you still don't have to put up with it, whether he does or does not have that issue.
That's what I was getting at. The reason doesn't matter as far as your own well-being. She's being with somebody like that, like, I'm serious, it's not healthy, it's not safe.
Correct.
Nope.
Because they're putting themselves in a position where they could become sick themselves and spread that to you. Now, you know, whatever the reasons are, it's, if you don't want to leave the person completely, if you're empathetic and you think they're having a mental breakdown, get them help. Seek help yourself. If they don't want to talk to somebody, find a professional yourself to talk to about the situation that might be able to give you some steps to get them to a healthy point to be on the lockdown. And then after the lockdown, you need to really evaluate why they did what they did and make sure they're not going to apply that same behavior to other situations in the future. Otherwise,
sometimes the best thing you can do to help somebody is get away from them. It doesn't mean you have to give up the relationship. It doesn't mean that you have to do any additional things. You just need to, they need to be in their own space on their own and realize that this is a big deal and that you can't, you're crying over having a shower, dude. You're having a mental breakdown at
There's something,
best.
There's so much wrong there.
Yeah. All right, next one. Am I the asshole for emasculating my boyfriend? Maybe. Let's find out, shall we? I, 30-year-old female, met this guy, 28-year-old male, in January, and he became my boyfriend in February. Comes March, the world goes down the drain, and we decided to move in together for the time of the pandemic. Everything is great. In the morning, we have this routine where he browses Reddit and gives me the highlights. A few weeks ago, he shows me a post where this guy is challenged to an arm wrestling competition by his girlfriend. The guy didn't seem to have any sort of training / workout, whereas his girlfriend did. I commented he might have a surprise. My boyfriend started educating me on biology and how men are stronger than women. I told him there were too many factors to take into consideration to make such a broad comment. I have been doing weightlifting for 2 years and my boyfriend has never seen a gym in his life. So I used us as an example. That was a big mistake. Listen, I don't think this is the word mistake is the word here. This is the best mistake.
Give her a hug.
Best mistake.
10 out of 10. Perfect.
I love it.
There we go, girl. You go, girl.
he got really defensive and condescending and made comments like, "That's cute." I just let it go. This guy wants to fight, apparently. Is that what we're doing today? Are we fighting?
He brought it up. He's like, "Come fight me."
Fast forward to yesterday, he's playing some games with his friends online, and I can clearly hear him talk about me. Well, curiosity killed the cat. At first, it's all pretty good and my ego is bursting, but then he says I'm delusional because I think I'm stronger than him. Pause. Seriously? I know I'm weak, but not weaker than a girl. Quote was what he said. So later, I decided to call him on his bullshit. I asked him if he wanted to come work out with me the next day, this morning, so he can show me how strong he is. This dude is just, I am a dwarf and I'm digging a hole.
Diggy hole.
Diggy hole.
Diggy hole.
Knocking over my
Diggy hole.
He accepted, and I was happy because I had been dying to bring him and initiate him to something I'm passionate about.
Ooh.
So this morning, we went to my friend's 27-year-old male garage. My region allows groups of 10 or less, and we wipe everything down. I told him we're going to do deadlifts. It's my favorite exercise, and I was already planning to test my personal best, so it was perfect. My friend was there because he corrects my form. It's been our Sunday ritual since Kofefe. We started light and slowly worked our way up, doing the same number of reps as the other, coming to 185. Comes 185, his form starts to crumble, so we made him go lighter. So this is the boyfriend now. But 185 really isn't that much for me, so I kept stacking the plates. So her and the boyfriend were going shot for shot, doing the same number of reps, deadlifting, until they got to 185, and he can't do 185. And she's like, "Keep going, brah!" He looked very supportive and impressed the whole time. I ended up beating my personal best at 265.
Nice.
This girl deadlifted 265 pounds.
Nice.
I was ecstatic, and so were they. We got in the car, he was very silent. I assumed he was just tired. We got home, and that's when he exploded and asked me if I was proud of myself. Actually, I am. I beat my personal best. Why, were you competing against me while I was competing against myself? Feels bad, man.
Ooh.
Okay.
I hope that's a true story.
This sickens me to such a deep degree. Like, I don't find this funny at all. It's to the point where he's literally insulting her to her face and then to his friend.
Yeah.
And then she takes him and proves him wrong, but because she is literally physically stronger than him and she's not talking shit, so that she said, that's emasculating him after he insulted, belittled her, and then basically was incredibly sexist.
Yep.
This to me has such a deep level of disgust that I can barely even describe it. Like, I don't know. I don't understand why men do this. And it happens quite a bit. I mean, they could talk as much shit to you as possible, but then when you turn around and you prove them wrong, that's emasculating to them.
Well, then they throw a hissy fit.
It's insane.
It's a hissy fit. Listen, he's about to throw a hissy fit. So the Athens for 5 said incel alert.
Also, Smitty brings up a good point. He's like, he's proving he's not a man by acting like a bitch. I'm like,
he's emasculating himself. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Apparently, when we got home, that's when he exploded and asked me if I was proud of myself. Apparently, I humiliated him in front of my friend. I apologized. I didn't realize he was feeling that way. He got angry and said it really changed the way he saw me, like I'm less of a woman now. He stormed to the basement.
Oh,
so he's projecting that he feels like less of a man, and to cope with that, she's less of a woman.
A woman.
I started collecting my things, but now I'm wondering if I should have been reading between the lines and stopped at 190 or something, or just dropped it and never suggested we worked out together. I knew very well I was stronger than him, and just had to prove it to him. Am I the asshole? Update.
Yeah, because he's being sexist. He's a sexist pile of garbage to the point where he's probably the same guy who says that he could probably score a point on the tennis player lady. What's her name?
Oh, yeah. The Grand Slam.
There are a large number of men who straight up say that they could score a point on a world-renowned fucking tennis legend just because she's a woman.
Yep.
And it's disgusting. They literally think that just because they have a penis and they have testosterone, which means that they build more muscle just naturally, they're better physically and they're better mentally. It's shocking to me.
They also forget that some men don't have a lot of testosterone and some women have more testosterone.
Yeah.
It just depends on who you are. So especially women who work out, it is completely, I don't even know why this is even a question. Yes,
it's like,
on
it's
average,
okay
it's one thing, okay. But go ahead.
It's like it's okay for him to it's okay for him to be condescending towards her when he's like, oh, it's cute, oh yeah, biologically girls are weaker.
It's not even condescending. It's sexist. It's straight sexism.
She beat her personal best, and like, seriously.
I like how he acted like he was proud. He pretended to be proud of her while the friend was there, like he wasn't emasculated and like he didn't feel like shit because he knew his behavior was garbage. Because if he blew up like this while the friend was there, that friend probably would have kicked the crap out of him.
For real.
She would have had to save him. Update. I still didn't get a word of him, but since some of you asked, I will make sure to update you when he does. Thank you for the overwhelming response. That was a bit of a roller coaster day, but it made it easier to know that I'm not completely in the wrong. Yeah,
you're not in the wrong at all.
Not at all. No.
Dump his ass. I never found.
She handled that way better than I would have. Way nicer.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm pretty nice. Most of the time.
Most of the time?
Most of the time.
Smitty. My biceps are actually kind of
don't trigger me
right now.
We could do this one, but I think I'm going to skip this one and save it for another time because it's a little bit more about parenting. The parenting ones are kind of icky sometimes.
Okay.
My boyfriend, 22-year-old male, admitted that he intentionally tries to make me, 21-year-old female, angry sometimes because he thinks the sex is better when I'm pissed off.
I heard that so many times. So many times.
Dude.
That is so out of line.
That's so common. Yeah.
It sounds to me like he just needs to get better at sex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so with me, that would be the exact opposite because I am incredibly aggressive in bed and I'm already violent. So
it's okay if that's a kink and you have like an understanding and you're doing it, right? Yeah. But to purposefully do it to someone without their consent, like that's crossing a line according to me. You shouldn't do that to someone like that.
Right.
No.
Like I can
when
be
it
a brat
involves
for
sex.
sure. Yeah, and that's something that again, it's one thing to be a brat in the way that you're provoking your partner, but they know you're doing it in a playful way, you're doing it to get that rise. It still works. You can say some pretty bad things or you can, whatever. But there's this understanding of they don't really mean the sentiments behind what they're saying. If you call your partner like, "Hey, you dirty slut," you're not really insulting them, but you're saying it to give the rise out of them, right?
Yeah, when it's consensual. This is not consensual.
if you're intentionally leaving the toilet seat up just to drive them crazy, and then you get in an argument, and then you have makeup sex, that kind of makeup sex, number one, is extremely unhealthy. And number two, it's like, that's not the kind of playing that you should be doing. There should be knowledge there beforehand.
Outside of the bedroom, BDSM is abuse. Outside of consent, I mean.
That's a very, very easy way to say it. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like,
also for 5.
You consent to certain things within an agreement between two people. Communication is the first and foremost of BDSM, but then you also have to have consent. And he is literally emotionally abusing her on purpose to get sex. Whatever it is that he wants to get out
sexual
of her.
gratification.
A specific kind of sexual gratification, yes. Except for abuse, literal abuse.
Yep.
Like,
cool.
It's fine to be okay with that type of stuff if you are both consenting and you know what is happening. Outside of that, it's fucking abuse.
Kawasa for 5 100%. Says, I feel for the man. I get slapped around by my sister a lot. Snort. We've been together for a year. Our relationship... We've been together for a year. Our relationship has ups and downs, but lately it feels like we've been having more fights than usual. Just small, stupid things we normally wouldn't fight about. However, it's always followed up with sex, and I was never sure if that's healthy or not. No, it is not.
No.
So recently, we were in bed, and he admitted that he intentionally starts fights sometimes to get me heated up because he thinks the sex is better when I'm angry at him. He said that I'm not always enthusiastic when we're having non-angry sex, but when I'm mad, he feels like he's fucking a porn star. I explained to him that I can't always be passionate because I'm under a lot of stress nowadays. My mom is sick, I have to take care of my younger siblings, paying bills, etc. Like, a lot of issues are always on my mind, and I'm not relaxed enough to always be super passionate about sex. I said that it's completely messed up to push my buttons just so he can get what he wants. He tried to make me feel better by saying it's the best sex he's ever had. Oh, well, good for you, asshole.
Yeah, she should feel better because you're feeling good about yourself. All right, okay.
Oh, no.
Well, that's what society teaches boys, though, right? Is that women are there for their gratification and nothing else.
Yep.
And we have to be coerced into sex at every turn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sex
is something that happens to women, not something that we do enthusiastically and happily.
Or something that
it's something we accept and that we're tricked into, and that we we just give up because we love you or whatever.
Because you're the best.
No.
You're the best around. And no one's ever going to bring you down, except the fact that I go into my friend's garage and deadlift 265 pounds. Oh, you have any idea how hilarious it would have been if she, like, instead of, like, taking him to the gym and doing this in sort of what would have been, like, a little bit more of a positive direction, if she just, like, choke slammed this dude into the bed.
The thing is, I'm saying she did it better than me. I would have had all of our friends over. We would have had a big party. And then right after Cards Against Humanity, I'd be like, all right, arm wrestling, let's go.
Come on, bitch, baby.
In front of all our friends.
Everybody. Unfortunately, it was Kofefe. Oh, hilarious. And that's like, what are you going to do? Where are you going to go? What are you going to... Oh, okay. Anyway, let's back to this guy. Ugh. He tried to make me feel better by saying it's the best sex he's ever had and that he loves me / my body. Oh, it gets worse. And he said that he masturbates to the memories, which is something he hasn't done with other girls. He really thought I'd view that as a compliment.
Oh no, that boy got issues, girl. You need to go. There's a difference between having a kink and, forgetting about consent. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Oh, Lord. This is so disgusting.
I just left the room and went to sleep on the couch. It's been a couple of days and I've been mostly ignoring him. He's upset and says that I'm overreacting over nothing.
Oh, here we go again.
Oh, the gaslighting begins. He keeps touching me. I guess he's trying to turn me on, and I've told him I don't want to feel his hands on me at all. Is this a normal thing some guys do? Isn't it emotionally manipulative?
Oh, I wonder. Yes!
Now,
it is.
This is what I wanted. This is one of the things that is interesting. This is the comment section that she was responding to.
Oh, wow.
That story's kind of obvious, right? Look at this garbage. From a guy's perspective, angry sex is great sex! Exclamation mark. It's almost as good as breakup sex! Exclamation mark. I wonder if it's a control thing for this guy too, to like.
So this person doesn't. They don't want a relationship. They just want fun sex. So find somebody you have fun sex with. Stop trying to force this relationship to placate your fantasies.
Right.
Sick. It's just sick.
As for some people calling it
sex.
As for some
Do people have sex after they break up with someone?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's pretty good.
That's a thing.
That's not healthy.
What? Huh.
Don't do
I've
that
never
thing.
done that.
Try not to do that thing. Oh god. Alright. As for people calling it manipulative, I hate to break it to them, but that's how most relationships work. Women tend to be the ones who utilize it the most because most men aren't patient enough to actually manipulate someone. Bracket, it takes time. Men tend to be more of an I want it now thought process. That means nothing for the length of time that this
I don't
person
know if I agree with that necessarily anyways.
Yeah.
But
women are much more subtle, and it's a gradual manipulation. They don't like certain traits that the man has, so what do? They use manipulation to try and change the guy. Sex is often used as a manipulation tactic as well. Quote, no sex for a week if you don't do that. That's manipulation. You're using sex to change a behavior.
It works both ways, but yeah, that is common with women. Yeah.
Yeah,
because it's again, we're taught that that's the only weapon we have.
Yeah, it is
way,
not.
It's like it goes both ways. It's a snowball effect. And that's the thing. These things, there's no blame. It's not that like just men are taught or perceive things in a negative way, and women are innocent. That's not how it gets reinforced
all
around. It's because we're pit against each other. Like men and women are these opposing forces that have to struggle for power dynamic, power, and it doesn't have to be that way. It's not really that way. It's the assumption that causes these things to manifest.
This is whataboutism.
You
right?
want to have
this whole
passionate
whataboutism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you want to have passionate sex. No one's shaming you for that. Okay, all right, but when you're in a relationship, you gotta be understanding. You're not going to get it all the time. Like the girl said, she's under a lot of pressure.
She has
other stuff on her mind. Instead of being an understanding partner, you're going me, sex. That's disgusting.
Well, you're treating her like an object for your satisfaction, that you should get the sex that you want and you'll do what you feel like you need to do to get the thing you want when you want it. And that's just not how relationships work. But there's another bit here. This whole bit is whataboutism. Well, women do it more. Okay, first off, do they? And second off, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
this doesn't make it okay.
Like, this is our relationship, Like, I don't care what the other women do. Why are you treating me based on what you think they do? Do you think I do that? Like, that's where it comes down to.
Hey, maybe also, don't be a poor lay when you're happy.
Oh,
that's like
maybe inspire me better. If you have to piss a woman off for her to be sexually aroused by you, maybe the issue isn't her.
Yep.
Imagine that.
Oh wow, didn't think of that, did they?
Yes, it is Yes, it is manipulative. However, I'm stating that everyone in a relationship manipulates the other. You can't take the moral high ground and say, oh, you're manipulating me, I'm the victim, because you yourself are also manipulating him, which means he can turn around and say, no, I'm the victim because you're manipulating me. She never said no sex, or do this, or no sex. What she said is, I'm not interested in having sex. I'm not interested in having sex with you because of your behavior. That's different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm not telling you
different.
to change or what you should or should not. I'm not making demands of you. I'm saying you're not turning me on because you're treating me like shit. Why would I want to have sex with somebody who's treating me poorly?
Yeah, or who's manipulating me like that to get what they want, instead of talking to me about it or discussing to me about it or trying to understand where I'm coming from or what I'm going through at the moment. Her mother's sick, you idiot!
Oh, he doesn't even care. He does not care about any of that.
No.
Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah.
God.
Example. Everyone knows. Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
Educate me. Everyone knows in relationships you pick and choose your battles. However, that right there is a manipulation tactic. If you are arguing with your significant other and you know they are wrong and that you are right, however you decide to just let it go because you know there's going to be another argument that you will want to actually win, that's manipulative behavior, especially if you use the, well, I let you have your way last time, it's my turn crap. That's a form of manipulation. Or the where do you want to eat question. You know where you want to eat, however you're going to make him go through 25 different places until he picks the one that you wanted all along. Of course he's going to agree with you. He's been guessing for the last 45 minutes to an hour. He's fucking starving. I feel sad for this person. This person has a really sad.
These are the stereotypes that they fuck it up for the rest of us, because like legitimately when somebody asks me where I want to eat, most of the time I really don't care, and I'm not the like, oh well, let's go here. I'm probably gonna be like, okay, cool. Yeah, like I understand that some people do things like that, but I see jokes like that, like, oh, women can't decide because they really just want to go where they want to go. Like, no, I legitimately do not care. I'm not picky. As long as it's not Applebee's.
The person responded and said, OP responded, okay, I'm trying to see your point. How am I being manipulative in this situation? Response, don't listen to this person. They have a very sick twist on how they view relationships.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
It's like they've made relationships out to be a game or something. I'm sorry if all your relationships have been like that, but it's not like that. Healthy relationships are about good talk, good understanding, and consent. That's what they're about.
Communication.
Yep.
Communication.
And I'm sorry, tricking somebody into a certain type of sex, that's not consent.
Nope.
That's a really messed up thing to do. Even if they consent to the sex at the time, the fact that you manipulated them to that point, you did a bad thing.
Hi, Nikki.
There she is.
I've been doing this. I was doing this for the first 30 minutes I was on stream. And this is like the first time I put like super like thick makeup on my eyes. So
I was gonna say your eyes look so dramatic, perfect for the holiday.
I like it.
Yeah.
I was actually invited out to like a party for the first time like ever.
Oh.
I'm very antisocial and people don't like to invite me places, so I was like, I'm gonna get dolled up a little bit.
Yeah. Very nice.
So,
Get it.
Extremely
Get it.
manipulative, possibly as far as abuse in a sexual, mental, and emotional aspect. I've dealt with this for 10 years. Run, baby, run. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, by the way. So did you break up because of that? Response. After being married for 6 months, yes. Covfefe hit, so I'm waiting on courts to open up properly, but after 10 years of mental and emotional abuse, 8 years of sexual abuse, having our daughter, let's not get into that roller coaster here, and multiple 5150 calls and psych wards, I left. I ended up with a man who makes me totally and entirely happy, backs me on just about anything, openly communicates if something is wrong, doesn't use my brain against me, and actively tries to help when my brain goes haywire, bipolar, Asperger, PTSD, and anxiety.
Aww, that's so
Wait,
nice.
is this OP?
Happy ending.
No, that's
Sorry, it took
somebody
so
giving OP advice.
Oh, okay. Yep.
That's so, I mean, it's good to hear that someone, I always love hearing people who got out.
Yeah.
You know?
Wouldn't
I know.
call it
My mom
normal.
finally...
I don't get what his thought what he thought this would lead to in the future. Making you angry only because his needs are fulfilled more is just unfair and very strange. Like, he thinks he could lead an angry-based relationship. And yes, also, having sex after every fight sounds very unhealthy for a relationship. It felt unhealthy and emotionally draining. Because you're being manipulated.
Yep.
You're being abused.
Yep.
Sounds like he thinks you're a vending machine. He certainly has no regard for your feelings. What else doesn't he give a shit about? Seriously, what does this guy do for birthdays, chores, go out of his way to do for you? Does he come up short?
That's a good point.
I like what the person said before, in that, what did they, he makes you angry just so that his needs are fulfilled more.
Yep.
So, not that they're being fulfilled, just fulfilled more or better. And, I mean, if that doesn't sum up a lot of what's wrong with a lot of different relationships, I don't know what does.
So much.
This comment's kind of bizarre. It doesn't seem like he gaslit you. He came out and told you why he starts arguments with you. So there was no gaslighting. No, not necessarily, but okay.
No. He's
How long was
gaslighting
this
her by
going on
saying you
before?
should enjoy it too because I enjoy it. That's what he's saying.
And saying it's
and
like,
you should
it's
be
her
okay
fault.
with this. Yeah. She should be okay with this because he enjoys it. And now this person's gaslighting the OP again by saying, looks like you both enjoy the angry sex, while they're saying in the comments that it's emotionally draining and tiring them.
Yeah.
And they don't feel happy about it. Damn.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, a lot of us have been in those situations. Yeah, like we've been there. Like, you can, in the moment, if you think it's genuine that you're having makeup sex and it's good to you, that's fine. But that doesn't mean that you consented to being led to that situation. If somebody pushes you to feel that way, it's like if somebody convinces you they love you, and you're like, okay, like I believe that you love me and you're here for me and you're gonna do these things, so I'm gonna have sex with you, and then you find out that was a lie. That's a very damaging thing to do to somebody. And of course, it's one of the most common manipulations that happens for sex. But it doesn't make it okay just because it's normal or it's common. And the more you get into extreme cases like this, it's more easy to see. But manipulation into bed in any way, in my book, is just not cool. Like, I can't get behind that.
It's sexual abuse.
I don't think it's necessary. I know some people feel like it's necessary because they feel like being themselves or being honest, they can't get it. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I was raised to expect it. So
I expected also, plus I think so what Shesh pointed out was it's about the control thing, how controlled they feel. They are the ones guiding your emotions. They are the ones deciding what reaction you will have. So they feel empowered and they feel in control, so they feel more masculine.
Well,
so I think it's all about that.
This guy thinks he's entitled.
And to be clear,
to
too, it works both ways, not just with men. Women do it too. For different reasons.
Yeah. So there was no gaslighting. You didn't mention any physical abuse or cheating, as if those are the only kinds of abuse.
What?
It also sounds to me that you both enjoyed the angry sex. Do you not enjoy the angry sex more than when he's not showing more passion? If you are enjoying it just as much as he is, then you're benefiting from it as well. Certified gay man advice.
Okay.
What I would
irrelevant.
do and have
completely
done
irrelevant.
What I would do and have done with my husband is use the angry sex as your outlet. I'm talking the kind of sex where everything disappears. All your frustrations, all your worries are gone. The type of sex where you pass the fuck out and you wake up the next morning with a damn smile on your face. Okay, all right, hold on. Before this keeps going, I need to take over for a second.
The games.
Women biology and man's biology are very different when it comes to what happens after sex.
Yep.
Men
what the hell?
fall asleep. Women are rebooting. Shut down, rebooting. Now, for a man to be able to satisfy and wear out a woman to the point of, like, passing out exhaustion, that better be a consensual conversation that you've had ahead of time, and I wish that man luck.
Yep.
Amen.
Dude,
Amen.
Dude, the longest I ever had sex with, and Padme, who's in the chat right now, that meat suit, could, vouch for me, because that's, what I did. But we went for literally 24 hours, only stopping to eat, rest, recharge, and then go back. And
Make
then,
sure to get a lot
again.
of Gatorade and Powerade. You need those electrolytes.
Oh wow, people like some guys have like no idea. Like they have
this
they
is
live
the
in
why
their,
it's
and they don't care. Like they don't even want to educate themselves.
Unsolicited sexual advice from a man who doesn't know how women's sex works.
It's certified
amazing when you find one who
advice. Like,
does.
oh god.
Okay.
It's so rare, but they do exist. They do exist.
Well, what I've realized is
communication.
Yeah, and what I've realized is this dude does not. This person, this commenter, also does not have a very healthy relationship. What I would do and have done with my husband is use the angry sex as your outlet.
Women don't do that, you idiot. Women don't use sex as an outlet. Not all the time.
They can. It's something that you could do.
Yeah, they can.
He's not saying that he does it all the time either, but that's not a healthy. Using sex in that manner is not. It means you're having problems with other things. Like, you can use it to de-stress. You can have sex as like but if you're using it as a coping mechanism and not dealing with like whatever you're angry about, your relationship is not in a very good place. Yeah. Okay. Well, also
the moral.
To prove... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. The moral of my story was that even after the whole 24-hour thing, it was him that couldn't, keep going. So that
I believe it.
100% true, is that men want to go to sleep and women are just like, whatever, I could go again.
Shutting down, rebooting.
Yeah. So it's like
all these men want to talk about biological reasons for things, but don't know like the basic commonality here. That, like, it's not everyone. Obviously, there are going to be exceptions. However, like this is like a historical, like a biological difference.
It's a difference between people who are looking for information because they want to learn and they want to have a functional sexual life, and people who just want confirmation bias, to be reaffirmed. So when they hear what they want to hear, so-and-so on this podcast said blah, 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 so it sounds like, what I want to hear, they're not going to research the actual biology.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to finish off these comments, and then we will get out of here, because we are at the 2-hour mark, and I know there's a rum and coke starting over at Steve Stream. So whoever wants to go drink and talk politics with Steve, have fun with that. I'll probably swing by and
I'll do the first part.
Hey.
Yeah. I'll be there for some time. Not all the time.
Also, to prove a point about manipulation in a relationship, you hold all the power right now. The man basically told you that the angry, passionate sex you throw down is the best sex he's ever had. You hold all the power. Now use it. No!
Oh my god.
No! It's not a power game!
It's not the point.
Yeah, so on one hand, you have somebody who's saying that women are manipulative, stop being manipulative about sex. And then on the other hand, you have somebody saying, oh, go ahead and use that. I wonder if they're both men. It's like, it's almost like you can't win or something.
Yeah. That's the thing, you can't say, it's mixed signals about what you're supposed to do. And then also,
that's why.
Don't use it to your advantage, but the fact that he said to her that that's why he's doing this, so from then on, if there's a fight, I'm sorry, sex is off the table. until we resolve the issue that we were arguing about.
Yeah, and because it's a matter of now, do you know whether or not he's being serious about what he's arguing about, or is he just trying? You don't know, and that not knowing is manipulative and stressful and not healthy, abusive.
Yeah.
Women mature faster than men. He's not in the same place as you emotionally. That's an excuse and a bad one.
It is. Boys will be boys.
There is work to be done, and if you are willing to work with him, you have yourself the best relationship. He's 1 year older than me, and you're using the girls mature faster than boys argument?
You see people who read this and see themselves in the mirror and have to defend themselves. It's bad.
This is a matter of you're being an apologist for emotional and sexual abuse. Yeah. That's apologetics. Yep. That's straight up apologetics. No, just fucking no. They're both adults, and he has no excuse for acting like a manipulative. You are absolutely disgusting for trying to defend his horrible behavior. Yeah. Get him. Get that commenter. Nice. How do you even have sex when you are angry? My wife can't have sex if I so much as breathe too hard on her neck. I don't know, I just channel that anger, I guess.
It's almost like we're individuals and we have different triggers and turn-ons. Yeah.
So I'm just gonna give the chat a little bit of a preview of what I actually have available for us for the future. This is one tab. This is one tab of just relationship stuff, and I'm gonna show you guys.
Here we go. Drum roll.
Let it load.
Oh wow. Oh no, it's like going on and on and on. Here we go. Woo! Roll on.
We got a lot to go through. We've got a lot of god. Some of these are great and some of them are just goddamn awful. So subscribe for more, and we will be back again soon. Happy Halloween, everybody, and we'll see you guys over at Rum and Coconut. Any last words, you guys?
Just have a great night.
Enjoy and communicate. That's the best part of the relationship.
Hey.
Love ya.
Bye.
Have a safe Samhain. Bye. Don't get too drunk. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.